Hey guys, Clel here, and this time around I'm going to be talking about Graal Gaiden. It's been a while. I tried to do the Light Mage video, and throughout that I figured out uh, what I used for my droppables, which is completely wrong. So when you throw like a package and health comes out, I figured out that player 2 and player 3 and player 4 can't pick it up. So it's so stupid. So I had to pretty much rework the system and figure out a way to make everything work, and it will work in multiplayer. This thing stressed me out a bit there. But instead of going by each video one by one, since I've reworked these two characters as well, I'm just gonna do each character really fast and not really play them. I might then do recordings of me randoming the characters later. But another change here is the enemy spawn from chest, and there's a new enemy right here, which is the spiders, and I always have it spawn 2 spiders. But so now you don't just have to worry about the enemies that are running at you, and then the archers that are trying to poke at you from a distance. You also got to worry about these spiders, which kind of just wander around and do their own thing. The main reason why I added them is because you can just control all the other enemies. You see how I'm kind of just kiting them? And the spiders kind of do their own thing. They're just kind of wandering around, and that creates situations that are beyond your control, in a way. I'm just naturally just swatting at them, because that's something you got to do. If you don't naturally swat these spiders, if you don't clean up the arena of them, and there's just a bunch of them wandering around, and they all shoot these rocks at you, and so you just got like this swarm of rocks. Okay, so like, even in a match that I don't care about, like I don't want to get hit and everything, and I'm kind of playing to win. Alright, so I've also changed these packages to where that now, instead of dropping 1 green rupee or gellet, they drop 3, but I guess they're not doing that. And then you could also get 3 blues. And that just makes farming better, so farming got buffed. I'm pretty sure it can drop 1 blue. I think it can. That's been a while. There we go. I removed it dropping arrows, because at one point the ranger was broken, and the fact that there's just ammo everywhere, you can get ammo anywhere you want, made her pretty broke. So this right here is now the trick shot bow, and it's just every character has a bow, but for her, she shoots twice and really fast. But it's been nerfed. It doesn't pierce anymore if you've watched the one on here. The trident is like the hammer, but instead of it doing more damage to more enemies that are in the room, it always does half damage or kills the enemy if they're at 1 health. And then there's a thing you can do with the bomb, or if you go like this and it turns red, then you get like a couple of usages of it where it will 1-hit KO anything. So that's pretty good. The God Bow just does electricity. It's been nerfed to hell. If you look at the previous video, I've nerfed that to hell. But 8 damage on it, 3 damage on these. Bomb kind of is whatever. And then the sack, when you first use it, you got to open it up. And then your second use gives you plus 20 darts. And then your final usage gives you just 1 heart back. The shop here, pretty much the same. You can buy anything, but you only got 5 seconds to do so. And I think I changed the pricing on bombs. I want to say that bombs weren't always 10. It's 10 for 10 on bombs now, I believe. But that's pretty much the ranger. The technician has changed too. I really had a hard time determining what I wanted to do with him. So he has the advanced bomb, And he doesn't have bow arrows, but I could show you what the normal bow does if, no, don't start it. Get in here and then just buy. There you go. So the normal bow only shoots one shot, and this is the one that everybody gets. But it's just 3 damage. Bows are pretty bad. So he can lay bombs super quickly, and they have much wider explosions. And then he also gets the mines where if anybody walks on it, so it takes a while, and once you see it blinking red, if anybody steps on it, so I can step on it for there, and then once it's like that, it should do 6 damage, so that should be 3 of my hearts. Yep. And the explosions, so from these bombs, do 4 damage if they hit anything. And then you, of course, got the remote bomb, which has been nerfed. It used to have 3 usages, but now it has 1. And if you're not careful, it does those much quicker. So if you don't immediately stop it, it'll use both of your usages. So it's kind of a bit more going on there. Let me just kill myself with this. Alright. Next up would be the Light Mage. Very, very frustrating character to try to design and balance. So Find Hope here. What this does is it manipulates the luck of the packages. So sometimes when you throw a package, you can get nothing, like that third one. How do I explain it? When you use more Find Hope, so if you use it, you pretty much find a pendant on the ground and you pick it up. And then it keeps track of how many pendants you found. And it costs 1 mana here, so this is your mana bar. And so it costs 1 mana to do that. And once you're at 20, you can't throw one of these and it will be nothing anymore. And that's because it reduces the amount of dice. So it's like, say it's 1d, you roll a 1d6 whenever you throw this, and then like on a 6, it will be nothing. And then, then 1 through 5 is all the other items you can get. Once you're at 20, it takes the 6 away. Otherwise, it just kind of reduces your chances of getting 6. And then if you do this further, it reduces the other numbers too. But all of the good items are closer to 1. So that's really good. That works for all players. So if you're in multiplayer, that's a way you can be supporting your team, is doing that. This water bow, it used to hit on its way like before it explodes, but now only the explosion hits, and it does just 2 damage, which is pretty poor of damage. I used to have it do, I debated between 0 damage and 1 damage, so like 0 damage it will just stun the enemies, but since I made it to where that the trail doesn't hit anymore, I'm gonna go ahead and give myself some more mana. So what this thing here does, I call it a mana seed, and this, you plant it into the ground, you wait a while, and it will sprout a plant, and then that gives you mana. And so that will be her way of being able to give other people mana. She can give other people health, so you set this down, and after a while it will turn blue, and once it's blue it gives a full heart. But if it's white like that, it'll only give you half a heart. So this here, waiting on it to give me 20 mana. There we go. See, there's the plant. Grab the plant. You get some mana back, and then you can do this again. So she's pretty support. Doesn't really kill that good, but has good results out of the late game, because you can set up multiple of these things here and multiple of these things here, and then waste a lot of time in the shop, come out, and then get to reap the benefits of taking forever. I've recently nerfed this though, because of this freaking weapon or killing thing. Way too easy to abuse. Like, way too easy. The Dark Mage is the opposite. And so the idea of both mages is that they're pretty broken, but the light mage is broken in a support way. Everybody would want to team with the light mage, where the dark mage is broken in a aggressive way and can just kill people super easily. And so yeah, how he gets his mana back is different. But this is the main move of the dark mage, and I think you can still hit yourself if you move forward too soon. But it's a lot of range, it's pretty safe, and all of that. The Morpher here, this right here, will turn enemies into whites. So if I hit start and I do that, you see how they all turn into the white enemies. Those have just 1 health and they're pretty slow. So that's technically a really good weapon. Just go to this, go to here, and then this final weapon, which will be the Shadow Ring, warps you at a distance. You go like that, and if you hit it again, it warps you to that location. So just do that. And pretty much what that's useful for is doing that, trying to farm, and then being able to warp up here, shoot another this way, farming. It's been a while since I tried to utilize this. Jeez, I got hit right when I tried. And then the final thing here, I've got to close before I die, because I don't know why. I'm just like that, I think. The final thing is how he gets mana back. So if his mana is low, he can do the Cursing Prayer, which will give him pretty much the same amount of mana that the plant gives you. But in return, these 2 stone statues will appear. They both kind of appear. As you can see, they kind of just sit here, they turn, and then they shoot a ball at you. But you can kill them with that. In multiplayer, they shoot multiple balls, so they'll shoot a ball for every player that's on the screen, which kind of sucks. But you can just kill them if you find the time. But usually, a lot of enemies on your ass, you don't really have time to deal with them. So I always try to be next to a wall, do this move, and if they appear on this wall as I do it, then I just take them out real quick. Alright, next character will be the Bruiser. So the Bruiser starts the idea of having 2 weapons and then 2 passives. So the inner armor makes it to where that if you get hit by a golden warrior, so there are 2 enemies that can do a lot of health to you. And it's, I can't separate it. It's the one wearing gold armor and it's the one wearing red armor, but he looks like the gold guy. It's this guy down here. See, and he shows up, he's got the blue helmet. So, and I call those warriors, I call everybody else soldiers, except for the Lizardons and the whites. Or the demons and the whites, I guess. And then you got dragons, archers, yada yada yada. But if you get hit by them, usually they do 2 damage to you, the warriors. But with the inner armor passive, you take 1 damage instead. Kind of not as big of a deal. And then with this thing, if you any money you pick up, you get an extra 2, I think. So like a green Gellet is worth just a lot more now. It's worth 3 now, I think. I'm not sure if I nerfed that recently. Alright, and then we have these 2 weapons. So this weapon here I am proud of, and that is the mace. Let me go ahead and reset this, because the mace is kind of a iconic Graal item, and I completely remade it to where it technically does the same thing, but I have it to where you have the choice of you can swing it twice or not, or you can just do the lazy back hit of it. And it does 3 damage on its back hit, and it does 6 damage on its when you throw it. And then you have the lay stones, which, yeah, you can lay stones. It's random between, yeah, that's the best way to demonstrate the worth of a green Gellet right there. Because if you throw it, it will just break off into the color of Gellet that it is, and you can get reds. You can get greens, blues, reds, and golds. And they also increase in damage. So when you set it down, that can hit enemies. So like setting it down can hit enemies. Hey, there's a red one. Yeah, so this should give me 32. 32. And then if you throw it, it hits enemies as well. But then I have it to where that it does an explosion, which I don't really visualize well. It just does one break kind of thing. But I could put more leaps is what they call them. Kind of how the stone breaks when it hits the ground. I could put more of those that will better demonstrate the range that it hits. Look, if I get a lot of enemies here and I throw that, see how it hits all of them. And it also increases in damage. So the green stone only does 2 damage. The blue stone does 4. The red stone does 6. And then the gold stone, which I will never draw ever, does 8. But if you get a gold stone, that's worth 102. Gillet, so it's kind of broken. You're really lucky if you ever get one of those. Let's sit around and try to get it. Oh. Alright, screw it. The thief is who I would main in this game. The thief has 2 passives, just like the bruiser. So you got the counterfeit build, and what that does is make it to where that if you go to the shop, so it's to where that if you go to the shop, you can buy any item. You can only buy one of it, but you get it for free, and it sends you out immediately. And so you could also delete it to get to where you can buy multiple items but you have to spend. But there's not a point in that. This weapon here, the sharp gillets, you throw 5 gillet at an enemy or at whomever, and it sticks on the wall, and you can pick it back up, and it does 2 damage. It has infinite piercing, so it just goes all the way to the wall, even if it hits enemies. So that's pretty good. This item here, or weapon, is pretty cool. It uses up your mana, and it just pretty much hits you for no damage, so you can get around enemies. So like if you're in a sticky situation, you can just do that and get out of it. But another thing that it does is that if you use it twice, so if you use it again while you're invincible, you'll warp and hit any enemy who's at 3 health. Or is 3 health or below. I don't know if I nerfed that or not. Now it's 2 health or below. But yeah, I mean, I was doing a lot of changes here to try to make this character more balanced, because it was broken at a point. And then this here is the mana absorb, and for each enemy that's killed, you get 1 point of mana back. A full bar of mana is 100 mana. So you could also go here and just steal some mana for no reason if you want to, but usually I use the shop for health. I think that's the only thing I really steal. Alright, so we have the cool concepts of the noob and the elite. So the noob is the character who has everything. He doesn't have the passives of the bruiser and thief, but other than that, he has all of their weapons, and he has the advanced versions of the technicians, bombs, and the bows of the ranger. But he also has this gift card. And so you can go ahead and delete like whichever weapons you don't want to use. You can just delete a bunch of stuff. And it's kind of just what combination of weapons do you want. I usually don't take either of these when I'm playing them. I probably already deleted anything that is worth. The thief and the bruiser I don't deal with at all. Usually what you would want out of the noob is a combination of the light mage and the dark mage. The ranger is also very useful to have some ranger stuff. And back when it was broken, the technician remote bombs were really good to have. But he starts with 3 health. He only has a sword that does 1 damage. He has a shield, but it's not a good shield, and he doesn't move fast. But the newbie's gift card, when you start, like unlike the other players, they would start with maybe bombs or bows, or I always call those bows darts, or some money. He gets none of that, no mana. And with the gift card, his first purchase gives him full of any of this. So if I buy bombs, I get 99 bombs. If I buy darts, I get 99 darts. Or I can go back up to full health, but that's always for your first purchase. So you gotta make a wise decision on what do you want to buy first with the new. So it's what items are you going to go get, and then, or what items are you going to run this with, and then what's going to be your first buy to complement that. And usually I just go with mana and have a bunch of magic stuff and try to wreck shop from there. And so the noob also has the lowest amount of health, which is 3, that you can get. Other than that, I think, the Thief and the Dark Mage have 4. So they're pretty low. And then these 2 are 5, and these 2 are 6. But the Elite has 7 health. 7 health, and what makes the Elite special is, 7 health, and you have an 8 damage sword. So your sword deals as much damage as the lightning moves do. But at the same time, you cannot use the shop. And she has taunts pretty much instead of items, so she has no items. She just has a sword. And I made it to where if you do a taunt, it has a 1 in 100 chance of spawning. I think it's 4 gold soldiers. I haven't seen it actually happen in a while because I don't usually taunt with the Elite just because of that. But it has a 1 in 100 chance, or maybe 1 in 200 chance of spawning all these soldiers around you. There we go. But they can fuck off. So yeah, she one-hit KOs anything in the game except for Golden Warriors, which she has the 2-hit KO, which is not bad. She has no use for money, and unlike the noob, she starts with every, 100 Gellet, and then full bombs, got all this mana, but doesn't really want to utilize any of it, because I would say she's too prideful. So when she goes to farm, she only wants health, and that's her only way of healing, because she can't use the shop. And I think that's it. There's a harder difficulty. Alright, the insane difficulty, which is just, right now, I don't think it's so difficult right about now, it's not really fun to play. And so I'm thinking about changing it. You got all these, there's too many archers, too many of these freaking spiders walking around, and the enemies all have too much health. Like, there are no low health enemies on the insane difficulty. And 3 golden warriors, so golden warriors have a lot of staying power, even if you hit them with the cool old electricity. They get 2-hit KO'd by it, just like the Elite sword. I think that's it to explain. I can start randoming me doing runs, like random a character, and try to show them off, and get a good score with them. Oh, one more thing to explain is I changed. He has that quote. One thing I just want to show off real quick. You'll die only with regrets. Me and my cousins, we were playing Tales of Symphonia, and there's an enemy in one of the last dungeons, and when he casts a spell, he says, "Die with regrets," and we thought that was so freaking funny. So I decided to put that in there. But he says, "You'll die only with regrets." Yeah, there's an easier difficulty too. Here. Let's see if you can handle this. I might change that quote. Let's see, these are all slow enemies. None of them. Yeah, all of these enemies aren't in the harder difficulty except for the archer. But yeah, this difficulty it kind of seems pointless. There is no octopus either, or spiders. in this difficulty. I might change that, make it just spawn 1 or something. We'll see. Oh, but the main thing that I did here is I changed the way that the score is counted. It doesn't count based upon how many enemies you kill, though this block here does tell you how many enemies you killed. This one tells you how many enemies are on the field. This is how long you've been lasting, and I have it in actual seconds now, because I used to just have it count up like a video game score counter. It used to just count as fast as it could, and now it just tells you in seconds how long you've been in this match, and then this is how many hearts they've dropped, and I use those to go with the score. That's usually what I look at when I play and try to determine how well I'm doing. Yeah, I think that is about it. Oh, one more thing. I have this difficulty here. The party difficulty is the random effect difficulty. You pick up one of these, it gives you a random effect. It's just the drinks on him. And so that gives you full health. That gives you full mana. There's one that hurts you. That one there hurts you. Man, I'm doing really good at getting each of these. Yeah, that gives you, I think it's 50. Is it 50? Yep, it's 50 Gellet. I don't know how to explain that. I just read some. And then there's another one of these that, come on, it's gonna kill me before I get it. There's one more. There's a random chance of these drinks coming back. That one, but it changed. And it changed again. There's another one that will kill like a lot of enemies. This one here. So this one here, if there's enemies, and it also is completely random which enemies appear this time. They have a set amount of time that it takes for them to spawn, and then when it spawns the enemies, it just randoms them. And I did have really what I would call party music that plays, but I got the music turned off for now. I can reveal my party music taste later when I am probably drinking and doing this mode. That effect is also on the Find Hope. There's a 1 in 100 chance that when you use Find Hope, it'll kill all the enemies. And I think it does it on every enemy, whereas the party one, it just does it for 10. For the 10 oldest enemies on the screen. And I don't think I'm going to get that 1 in 100 chance here. Unless I like go in the shop or something. Nope. It's just 10. Like 10 here is already like pushing it. But usually you can go to the shop and then be like, alright, I'm going to... Either way, you guys can pretty much tell what will happen if you ever get that effect. It will just kind of do the same thing that that party drink did. If you want to call it a party drink, I'm not sure how to explain how a drink kills enemies, but yeah, I don't usually get it either. Though when I'm playing, like it happens so rarely that I don't even think about it. But yeah, I'm about to be at half here. Like usually on a serious run, you'd never want to just try to find this many pendants. Going for that effect, but yeah. I guess I didn't get it. Yeah, I think that's it. So I will probably in the future do runs of this, kind of showing what's the best characters, why they're freaking good, what I'm going to try to nerf, and how I'm going to try to bring up the other characters. I really don't take my time to balance either of these two characters, but I want the lead to not be the best character, but to be like in the top tier, can be up there in the top tier, and then if the noob ends up broken as fuck, that's on the noob. He's always hard to play, and it's hard to figure out what is the most broken combination with him. So he's pretty fun to play in that aspect, and there's so many different ways to play him. As I try to make with each character, I try to make it to where that there's different ways to play them. But the thief, nope, there's one way. There's one way. You have multiple ways of playing the Dark Mage, Technician, Ranger, but the Light Mage also is kind of a one-way character. Well, alright, until next time, I think I should be getting on with Butalden 3 here in a bit. Let's see how long that took me to explain. Almost, 30 minutes. So not the hour I thought it would take me to run through all of that. Alright, till next time. Oh, no. What am I doing here? I sure wish to exit. No.